Hear, hear. Well done.
My Lords, Special Educational Needs SEN and Special Education Needs and Disability SEN covers a wide variety of needs, including dyslexia and autism. 2 out of 4 of our children are dyslexic, and our younger son, Josh, it was spotted when he was in kindergarten school by a teacher. His next school gave up on him by the age of 7. He then went to a specialist school, Fairley House, across the river, where they tried. And then he went on to Bruin Abbey at the age of 9, a boarding school near Oxford, where they specialized in dyslexia and dyspraxia. He entered that school barely able to read, write, enumerate, couldn't even hold his pencil. He left 4 years later, coming top of the school in his common entrance, and scraped into one of the best schools in the world, whether you like it or not, Eton. And at that school, where they mark you out of the whole year, he came 262 out of 262 in his exams in his first couple of years, bottom of the school. With special need, one-to-one help at that school, and everything else it offered, he left Eton with 3 A stars in his A-levels and entered the London School of Economics and has just graduated with a first-class degree in international history. Why was that possible? 1, as the Noble Lady Baroness Hazarika has said, early detection, that teacher who spotted it when he was in kindergarten, and 2, intensive help, which was provided to him at Fairley House, at Bruin Abbey, and at Eton. What is the government doing to encourage those 2 things? The early detection, training every teacher in this country to be able to spot dyslexia or dyspraxia, and to provide the special needs. I qualified as a chartered accountant with Ernst & Young here in London with EY, and they produced a report in conjunction made by Dyslexia called The Value of Dyslexia, Dyslexic Capability in Organizations of the Future. And a couple of quotes in there. Steve Hatch of Facebook, dyslexic thinkers are often able to see connections that others may miss and create narratives that they can simplify complex products or tasks. Another quote from Johnny Goodwin, who I know, dyslexia should not be viewed as a disadvantage, but a strength. And the report summarizes that the top dyslexic strengths trending competencies in all industries they are exceptional at active learning, originality, spatial abilities, idea generation and reasoning abilities, creativity, social influence, innovation, and leadership. And I've seen this firsthand. And I'm privileged to know one of my heroes, Dame Stephanie Shirley. We call her Steve. She is the biggest benefactor of autism in the world and has set up a school in memory of her son, who was severely autistic, the Priors Court School. And when I asked her, what is it that her school does that helps autistic children, she said, specialized education help mainstream schools to support autistic learners. The inclusive expertise, the special schools often act as centers of excellence, a holistic support. They integrate education with mental and physical therapies, reducing call on public health services, vocational training, advocacy for student rights, raising awareness of rights and needs, assistive technology, specialist schools pilot of the use of assistive technology, parental involvement, support the child within the family, structured environment, what is essential in special education in good practice generally. And she is 90 years old and is still going strong. So by the end of 23-24, now Baroness Hazarika gave a figure of 1.9, I have a figure of 1.6 million children in England with SEND, and of these, 434,000 had an education, health and care plan, with autism being one of the most commonly needed situations. I'd like to thank the Noble Baroness Monckton for leading this debate and for her excellent opening speech. And you know, special education settings, if you have smaller classes, specialized staff, tailored equipment, focus on life skills training, 90% of parents whose children attend special schools feel that their children are well supported, compared with only 59% of parents with children in mainstream schools. So we need more special schools. £2.6 billion has been spent by the government on SEND provision. Surely we need to spend more. May I ask the Noble Lady, the Minister, that we need to spend more on this. And of course, by May 2023, 2/3 of special schools were operating at or above capacity leading to further strain on the sector. And this is very timely. On October the 21st, just a few days ago, the Financial Times, there was an article, "The Funding Crisis Threatens England's Special Needs Education." And in this article, it says the Department of Education said it would focus on fixing the foundations of local government, providing long-term stability through multi-year funding settlements and ending the need for councils to spend time and money bidding for pots of government cash. However, the number of children with EHC plans in England rising to more than 434,000 over the past 8 years, surging SEND deficits leave many councils with near impossible choices to meet their obligations, what the government recognises. And Sam Friedman, a former government education policy advisor, said that the rapid rise in EHC plans reflected a decade of cuts to other SEND support in mainstream schools, such as specialist teachers and occupational therapists. This has led to a vicious cycle in educational funding as parents turn to EHC plans to get support. And the lack of early years intervention and lack of other kinds of provision means that the only way for parents to obtain help and funding is by obtaining a statement, which means more money is sucked into plans, so there's less money for everything else. Demand has far outstripped the capacity of state-funded special schools, forcing councils to pay much more expensive privately run alternatives. And the Department of Education said that children with SEND had been let down by the system and was determined to tackle the issues with better inclusivity and expertise within mainstream schools. And Friedman said any solution must involve giving parents and other options in seeking a SEND plan for their children, although he admitted this would be challenging at a time of fiscal belt tightening. Surely the government realises that the solution is more funding for government schools overall, including for special needs schools. And my lords, I conclude with this. I call him my noble friend. My noble friend, Lord Hacking, has written a letter to the Prime Minister just yesterday about the issue of VAT on independent school fees proposals. And of course, this affects all the private schools as well that specialise in special needs. And I quote from Lord Hacking's letter with his permission: "It is true from December 2018 to December 2023 that there's been a 20.4% increase in independent school fees, but this is over a 6-year period during which the average yearly increase was 3.4%. Similarly, since 2005, there's been an increase in independent school fees of 77.2%, but the average yearly increase from December 2005 to December 2023 has been 4%. So this actually is complete nonsense, he says. It's therefore complete nonsense to conclude that this provides the evidence of the ability of independent school parents having coped with these small yearly increases in fees, often being matched by increases in their wages. And he says it will cause great damage to the government, which you lead, to have launched a policy which provides no benefit to the state sector and much suffering by pupils and their parents of ordinary working people whose only sin has been at their considerable cost seeking to provide for their children a better education."